Right now, across the globe, over 1.1 billion goats are being raised, and every single day, millions of liters of milk flow through automated factories, while thousands of animals move through processing facilities that can handle entire herds in hours. We're talking about an industry producing 6.36 million tons of meat and 20.6 million tons of milk annually, yet most people have never seen how it actually works. Welcome to Process Nest, where we reveal the machinery behind your food. Today you're going inside modern goat farming, where a single carousel can process 600 goats per hour, and systems transform live animals into packaged products faster than you imagine. So hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to witness will change how you think about dairy and meat forever. Let's start in Australia, where over 2.3 million feral goats roam freely across landscapes so harsh that cattle struggle to survive. Before sunrise, helicopters lift off, scanning thousands of acres with thermal cameras detecting heat signatures in the darkness, while teams on quad bikes position themselves and specially trained dogs begin their work. The helicopter drops low, pushing scattered groups toward the dogs who drive them forward. The goats instinctively bunching together, moving as a flowing mass across red dirt. Within hours, what started as isolated animals scattered across 50 square kilometers became a single herd of thousands channeled into temporary yards. One crew can muster 5,000 goats in a single day, the captured animals sorted by size before being loaded onto multi-deck trailers, transporting 400 goats per trip. This system requires almost no permanent infrastructure, just skilled operators. And by the time the sun peaks, these wild herds are rolling toward holding facilities, beginning their transformation into export commodities worth millions. Now shift to enclosed barns in Europe, where goats live under precise human control. These climate-controlled facilities house thousands of animals, where every variable is monitored: temperature, humidity, air quality, even light angles. Automated feeders move along rails, dispensing exact portions, while water systems track consumption, flagging any goat drinking less than normal as potentially sick. Each goat wears an electronic ear tag with a microchip. When a doe approaches a feeding station, the system recognizes her and dispenses exactly what her production requires. Sick animals are identified automatically when movement patterns change, triggering alerts before symptoms appear. A single operator using tablets can manage 2,000 goats' work that once required a dozen farm hands. Intensive barn goats produce 800 liters of milk annually compared to 400 from pasture-raised, while growing to market weight 30% faster. Keeping thousands of goats healthy requires extreme precision. Temperature control is critical. Productivity drops 15% above 25 degrees. So massive fans cycle air every 8 minutes, maintaining optimal 15 to 20 degrees year-round. An adult dairy goat consumes 1.4 kilograms of concentrate feed daily, plus unlimited hay delivered by mechanical conveyors. The mix includes corn for energy, soybean meal for protein, delivered precisely at 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. Young kids are separated from mothers within 48 hours and raised on milk replacer, costing 1/3 what real goat milk sells for. Automated milking systems weigh each goat, calculating milk yield and checking for infection by analyzing electrical conductivity. Cameras with AI watch for limping, detecting problems before they worsen. The result is mortality rates below 2%. Now witness the rotary milking parlor. These circular platforms, measuring up to 20 meters, rotate slowly, transforming living animals into measured products. Goats enter through automatic gates, spacing them perfectly, each stepping onto her platform where pneumatic gates close behind, creating individual stalls. As the platform rotates, workers spend exactly 12 seconds per goat, spraying udders with iodine, wiping with cloths, then attaching 4 teat cups connected to vacuum lines. The cups use pulsating suction pulling milk through stainless steel pipes. By the time each goat completes half rotation, her udder is empty. Sensors detect this and cups automatically detach. The entire journey takes 6 minutes. A 60-stall rotary processes 600 goats per hour, running 3 sessions daily for 1,800 animals. The milk flows directly through filtration into refrigerated tanks chilled to 4 degrees within minutes. The entire operation requires just 4 workers. Modern systems include voluntary milking, where goats enter robotic stations whenever they choose sensors to identify each animal, and inside lasers map the udder, guiding a mechanical arm that cleans and attaches cups without human touch. From refrigerated tanks, milk transforms into products worth 10 times original value. First, it's pasteurized, heated to 72 degrees for 15 seconds, then cooled to 32 degrees and starter cultures added. After 30 minutes, rennet enters, causing proteins to coagulate within minutes. The liquid transforms into gel. Mechanical blades slice through, cutting it into cubes that release whey. The cubes are cut smaller until resembling corn kernels floating in greenish whey. Gentle heating continues for 40 minutes, causing curds to shrink. When ready, they're pumped onto mesh tables where whey drains, leaving pure white curds pressed into molds. After 6 hours under hydraulic presses, the cheese consolidates into solid blocks for salting. The cheese then enters aging rooms held at 12 degrees. Here they sit for 2 weeks to 6 months, proteins breaking down, creating intense flavors. A liter of milk worth $2 becomes 100 grams of aged cheese, selling for $15 or more. Premium varieties reach $30 per 100 grams. The global market exceeds 2 million tons annually, making this one of agriculture's most profitable transformations. Animals reach an optimal slaughter weight of 35 to 40 kilograms at 6 to 8 months. Transport trucks with multiple decks collect animals, each carrying up to 500 goats. Upon arrival, they're unloaded into holding pens with water, but no feed for 12 hours, emptying digestive systems. The facility is designed for flow-efficiency. Goats move through narrow corridors to the slaughter area, where each passes through a restrainer for stunning. Stunning happens in under 2 seconds. From stunning to bleeding takes 10 seconds. The unconscious animal hoisted by one hind leg for complete bleeding within 90 seconds. The carcass moves along overhead rails through stations where workers perform single tasks. First, skinning, where pneumatic tools separate hide in 60 seconds. Second, evisceration, where organs are removed intact. The carcass passes through automated wash systems, then inspectors examine everyone, checking for disease. Approved carcasses hang for 24 hours at 2 degrees. 95% are exported as whole frozen carcasses. They enter blast freezers where -40 degrees freeze them solid within 6 hours. Once frozen, they're vacuum sealed, then packed into refrigerated containers, maintaining -18 degrees during 30-day voyages. A single facility processes 3,000 animals daily. At this rate, one plant handles over 750,000 goats annually. Global goat meat production reaches 6.36 million tons annually, with China producing 2.4 million tons. Australia, despite producing only 25,000 tons, commands 45% of international trade. Australian processors ship over 1 million carcasses annually, generating 280 million Australian dollars. The United States imports 120 million Australian dollars worth annually. Prices remain stable at 8 to 11 Australian dollars per kilogram above lamb and competitive with beef. Global goat milk production exceeds 20.6 million tons, with India producing over 6 million tons, but Europe dominates processing. France produces 670,000 tons, processing 80% into cheese. Goat milk sells for 1.20 to 1.80 Australian dollars per litre, higher than cow milk at 0.45 Australian dollars. Fresh chèvre sells retail for $35 to $45 per kilogram, while aged varieties reach $60 and premium products command $120 per kilogram. The United States consumed 42,000 tons of goat cheese in 2023, with 60% imported. The industry employs over 300 million people globally. The industry faces serious obstacles. The 2019 Australian drought reduced the national herd from 2.8 million to 1.9 million as feed disappeared. Proper goat fencing costs $40,000 per kilometer because they're escape artists. Disease pressure from parasites resistant to dewormers forces expensive management. Economics are challenging. A kid costs $30 to raise and sells for $75, leaving thin margins. Labor is difficult to find, forcing automation. Australians consume only 0.8 kilograms of goat meat per capita compared to 25 kilograms of beef. Yet the future holds promise. Global meat consumption projected to rise 30% by 2050. Goats could scale from 6.36 million tons to 10 million meeting demand while using far less land and water than beef. Climate resilience makes goats ideal for regions becoming too hot for cattle. New breeding programs produce faster-growing disease-resistant animals. Technology transforms management with automated systems reducing labor. Consumer trends favor goat products as sustainable alternatives. The goat converting marginal vegetation into lean protein may feed humanity's next billion people as climate reshapes agriculture. From helicopter mustered wild herds to climate-controlled milking carousels, processing 600 goats per hour, to refrigerated containers carrying frozen carcasses across oceans. You've witnessed an industry most people never see. Every year, over 1.1 billion goats worldwide produce 6.36 million tons of meat and 20.6 million tons of milk, moving through systems blending traditional husbandry with automation. If this surprised you, then subscribe to Process Nest right now, because we're just getting started. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment telling us which part shocked you most. Was it the helicopter mustering the robotic milking? Or that Australia dominates global trade despite producing less than 1%? Let us know and check out our playlist on industrial food production, where we dive deeper. We'll see you in the next one.